Director of the Swami Vivekananda Cultural Center at the Consulate General of India in Durban, Dr. Chaitanya Prakash Yogi. Mrs. Nirupa, who is our yoga instructor. Master Aditya Om Joshi is currently a grade 7 student. He likes reading, playing cricket, and enjoys online gaming. He's also taking a keen interest in reading and learning about ancient Indian culture. Miss Adara Chaitra. Miss Adara is a grade 3 learner at Parkside Primary. She's just started her journey in the Bharatanatyam dance. She also likes yoga because it gives her strength and keeps her body and mind healthy. Namaskar, and greetings to all of you distinguished guests and our online viewers. Welcome to the Sarv Hitay Yoga for All Episode 1, Yoga for Kids, in celebration of this year's Yoga Month 2021. We hope you enjoyed today's program, and we hope to see you watching the further episodes.
Yes. So let's get started immediately with the interview. So question 1 is, how do you define yoga?
I think yoga, in terms of textbook definition, yoga means union. But I think it's a personal thing. I think it means different things to different people. You can have union with your mom, your dad, your creator. It depends. And yoga is very loosely used, the term for physical exercise. But within the circle, I would say, so if you imagine a pizza, right, and you have these little pieces, each piece contributes to yoga. So you can actually experience that union through different pieces. Hatha yoga is the physical aspect of yoga, which is commonly used by the world at large. You get Nada yoga, which is the yoga of sound vibration. You get Raja yoga, which is the yoga of the intellect and the mind, and it goes on and on. But within that little piece of Hatha yoga, the physical aspect, which is commonly used for yoga, there's many different styles. So to come back to your answer, I think it's a personal thing. What makes you feel good in terms of the space of exercise and breath control.
Even from the first question that you answered, I am pretty impressed about all the things that you have said to me so far. So you think yoga can make world peace?
I think that there's no silver bullet to world peace, but having children myself, I do believe that physical activity together with breathing, movement, which is physical activity, mindfulness, strength and flexibility, I think that those 5 processes will definitely contribute to an individual's well-being, a child's well-being. And if people are well, then it would definitely be a contributor to world peace. Yes.
Marvelous. Moving on to the next question. Do you think yoga is beyond any physical exercise?
Of course, yes. So I summarize it. I've been teaching yoga for almost 21 years, and I summarize it as being those processes that we just spoke about. But it's not about just being a contortionist or getting into a hectic back bend, or kids like to do hand balances, etc. It's not about the end state. It's about the journey, right? And I think it definitely goes beyond the physical. Why do I say that? So for kids, we know that our body doesn't just work on the external. Our body has many processes internally, like digestive system, breathing systems, which is the respiratory system, etc. And what yoga magically does is it actually activates these systems as well. So besides the physical being, it activates the internal processes, so you have a wellness feeling almost. And then I can tell you a little trick or a secret, right? So with kiddies, when they sit in hero pose, Japanese children sit in hero pose, which is what we use as well, and your heels actually press into your 2 sit bones, and that actually encourages digestion. So you find that when these internal processes work in harmony with the external processes, you find that you have a sense of well-being. Then there's this magic nerve, which is the vagus nerve, that extends from the brain, the bottom of the neck, the brain stem, all the way through to the bottom of the spinal column. And this magic nerve, and I tell my kids this, is when you activate through your pelvic floor area, which is the bottom, which is a chakra point as well, and you feel that activation, it has a response. And guess what? It has this relaxation response, because the relaxation response shoots up to the brain center. And that's how anxiety gets lower. Kids feel a bit more peaceful. So yes, I definitely think it goes much beyond our physical processes.
Yes. From what you have said so far, I think yoga is very educational, both for like physical education and also learning via the textbook and by writing down. So do you think the Department of Basic Education and also Higher Education should add yoga as a compulsory subject?
Oh, 100%. I tell my students, I teach students from very little through very, very old, and I tell them, find your physical activity that you feel happy, because at the end of the day, you need to feel happy. But because of the processes we've spoken about, I do believe, integrating this into the school environment will be something that really contributes to the wellness of our rainbow nation, the kids within our rainbow nation in South Africa and the world at large. And if we look at the West, we look at case studies that are done in schools. I mean, you know about prisons, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, I'm talking to a kid, right? But there are criminals in the world, and now they're actually doing yoga behind bars. So I do believe that yoga, if it's something that makes you feel happy, yes, it would work for everybody, and 100% I think it should be integrated into our school systems.
Wow, marvelous. And I'm also keen in knowing if yoga is beneficial for children, as you have just stated right now, people with disabilities, and also people with different social, cultural, and religious groups.
That is an intelligent and such a great question. The short answer is yes. And from my experience of teaching, my focus is essentially not something that's religiously focused, although people have this idea that, oh, okay, yoga is about a swami or a yogi that's sitting in the Himalayas, that's levitating, meditating. It's not only about that. It's about finding what makes you happy within yourself. And if I go back to your first question and tie to the answer of this, we often try and control the mind, and we say, okay, mind, control, focus, focus, focus. And what does it do? No. Right?
Yes,
Doesn't.
I can relate.
I mean, if you think about thoughts as a monkey, right? Can you catch a little monkey and say, okay, you know what, just sit here, I'm coming back? No. So our thoughts are like that. But we often controlling the mind. So what I'd like to do, and from my experience, is if we help control, not control, if we activate the breath and we activate the movement, the mind then settles. So it's a common thread, irrespective of which background, culture, creed, whichever background you come from. It's something that's it's something that any background can actually associate with. So it's a brilliant question. Thank you for asking.
From the last previous 3 questions that you have answered to, I actually want to know about some asanas that are beneficial for children, and I'd like to demonstrate.
Yes, so I'd like to say, so with children, you have children from 0 to, I would say, 18 years old. That's classified as still a child. But within them, there are a few age groups. So when I studied my teacher training in children's yoga, you have your kiddies, which are under the age of, say, 6, right? That category.
Yes.
Then you have like 6 to about, I'd say, 9 or 12, which is the tweens between the teenagers and the younger kids. Then you have your teenagers. For all 3 categories that we teach differently, right? I mean, like at school, you're not going to have a matric teacher now coming with hectic science and teaching a grade R or 1. Do you think so? Nah,
No.
I don't think so. Yeah. So there's a way to teach the same thing, right? It's how you communicate. But we start off with breathing exercises in each category, and I would like to just show you this, right? So with little kids, this is called a Hoberman sphere, right? It's a sphere. So I teach little kids, they don't know where the lungs are, they don't know how it expands and it contracts on the inhale and exhale. So I teach them, when you inhale or take a breath in, your lungs expand, so the body grows, right? And you sit nice and tall. And when you exhale all of the toxic air, it gets nice and small. Okay, so I teach kids, little kids with toys, with little characters, etc. With older kids, like your tweens, we teach them the yoga sequences by storytelling. So I'll tell them, okay, so let's pretend we're in a jungle. What do we see? We see a lion, we see a zebra, we see a giraffe, and in the same way they are exercising. With teenagers, of course, we know teenagers and phones and all of this and digital age. With teenagers, they have a very high-powered sequence, so it's like high-intensity interval training. So it's the same yoga postures but done pretty fast with proper breath control, and that's because it helps as you're growing into an adult, it actually helps suppress some of the anxieties that teenagers feel. So it's specifically designed sequences for that. And then with each of the age groups, we close off the sequences with constructive rest, with final relaxation. So yeah, it's fun storytelling with toys, with and another thing I need to tell you guys, for all the Star Wars fans out there, and I'm sure you know about Star Wars, you would know Darth Vader.
Yes.
In Sanskrit, we speak about the Ujjayi breath. The Ujjayi breath is the deep, resonant breath. Now, we can't tell children, okay, let's do the Ujjayi breath. So we tell them, okay, so you know about Darth Vader and that deep, resonant sound that you hear and you feel? Okay, that's how we're going to breathe. Then I show them, okay, here's the toys. So we use props, we use toys, but at the end of the day, they're getting the result that an adult would.
Yeah, from the way you explain it, I think even a 2-year-old could understand what you are saying.
Oh, I hope so. I haven't taught a 2-year-old as yet, but maybe a 3-year-old, and they jump all over. But
Yes.
your little kids are normally very short classes, like 15 minutes, that kind of thing. Yes.
Yes, and also I am very engrossed in the topic about teenagers because I am turning into a teenager and entering puberty. So I need to play. I just thought into my mind, okay, pay careful attention for what the yoga teacher is saying, and then you'll be you'll be having a peaceful puberty.
100%. You use the right word. So the way the teen yoga sequences are structured and designed, it's typically 5 sequences, and it's typically designed so that it calms the hormonal changes which impact puberty. Then you'd be able to sit, you'd be able to breathe, you'd be able to have your spine straight. They say that you're as young as your spine is flexible. It's not about being too bendy, you have to have strength as well. And teenagers do have a lot of strength that they can, use to their ability, to get the hormone levels down, which is great.
Mm-hmm. I agree. So moving on to the last question, what precautions would you like to give to children practicing yoga when they do it regularly?
Yes, so I think little kids or kids that are, jumping and, they can't control themselves, or they think that they're Superman, Spider-Man. By the way, I've had both my boys climb into the tumble dry and but obviously we had everything, switched off. We have to make it child-proof, but they were just learning how to walk. So I think it's critical that parents understand that their kids' limitations, specifically the neck area. Kids think that they fly up walls and jump off couches, etc. You worry about the neck, you worry about the spine, but it's a balance. You can't keep a child close and say, no, stop doing this. So I think it's very important for an adult to monitor and also to engage with a qualified yoga teacher to teach them spinal strength, etc. But to keep the kid alive, that spirit of being jumpy. So it's a balance. It's almost a balance. I think the last answer to your question would be children who have any illnesses or medical conditions. They of course have to get clearance from the medical doctor to say, okay, this kid has X, Y, and Z condition. He cannot do a headstand, for example, or he cannot do a downward dog. So it would have to be informed by an adult, a guardian or a parent, and also in terms of any medical conditions that a child may have. Because yoga teachers are not medical doctors, right?
Yeah.
But we can help the process of healing, which is great.
Yes. So how can you meditate in a loud environment? Because even if you're in a quiet plain field, you still have some Adidas flying over you.
I love your sense of, you are just too lovely. It's difficult, and you may know from our Indian culture, it always says that a lotus flower exists in a muddy environment, but it's still beautiful. It's still a lotus flower. So even though the Hadaidas may be flying around, even though the television may be on, maybe there's so much of distraction, I think, and this is just my view, I think that with movement and proper breathing, and you couple those together with some strength and flexibility, you would then be able to sit because your spine is now nourished, you've been moving, you've been breathing, feeding your entire central nervous system, right? And when the body is in check and you're not slouching over on the phone and you're getting neck aches, etc., which many young kids do, you'll find that irrespective of what the environment or how noisy the environment is, you'll find that the mind generally settles. So for me personally, I believe that yes, you can meditate in a busy airport or wherever you are, but I think that the physical movement and the breath movement is critically important to the mind settling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's great.
Great.
Yeah, I have no words. Just that I'm very impressed with yoga. How you just like sit down, take deep breaths in, take deep breaths out, and from seeing all the pictures here, I think they're related to some sort of yoga method which you can teach to some young children.
Great. Yes, absolutely.
We have to go and like do a quick demonstration of some asanas which I have requested in the interview. So, anyways, thank you so much for briefly explaining it, and you have actually persuaded me to do some yoga as well before my exams, test, or anything.
Hi everybody. This is a segment about demonstrating yoga for kids. I hope you enjoy. Let's bring our hands to heart center. Let's say the word peace. Peace within ourselves, peace networked through the universe. Peace. Inhale, let's stretch the arms up over the head, interlace the fingers, and stretch the body to the right side and to the left side. Arms down. Okay, right hand on the floor, left hand raises up, stretch down to the right, stretch up, stretch down to the left, raising the right arm, and up. Sit with the spine straight, wiggle nice and tall. Let's close the eyes and come into alternate nostril breathing, Anuloma Viloma. Come into Vishnu Mudra with the right hand, closing the right nostril. Inhale through the left, close the left, holding. Open the right, exhale right. Inhale right, close and hold. Exhale left. Inhale left, close and hold. Exhale right. One more, inhale right. Close and hold. Exhale left. Okay, hands down. Let's open the eyes. Let's look over the right shoulder. Let's look over the left shoulder. Let's roll our head forward. Left shoulder to right shoulder. And backward. Drop the head back. Left shoulder to right shoulder. Okay. Let's stretch the arms up. Let's come up to standing posture. Come to the front of your mat. Come to the front of your mat. So in this segment, we're going to do the sun salutation. This is sun salutation for older kids. Younger kids, we use storytelling, etc. to get the sun salutation. So, bring your hands to heart center. Press the palms together. Send the arms forward, up and back. Look up at the ceiling. Exhale, forward bend, touch the floor. Right leg back, all the way back, head up. Inhale. Both legs back, body straight, plank position, look forward, bring the shoulders forward, shoulders a bit forward, and knees down. Feel the arch in your spine, wag your tail, chest and chin down, simultaneously slide out into snake, and downward dog. Right leg forward, all the way forward, head up, inhale. Both legs forward, exhaling, head to knee. Inhale, stretch the arms up. Exhale, hands by your side. Press the palms together. Inhale, stretch forward, up and back. Exhaling, head to knee, forward bend. Left leg back, all the way back, left leg. Both legs back, body straight. Knees, chest and chin down. Arch up into upward facing and downward facing. Exhale. Left leg forward, all the way forward. Head up, inhale. Both legs forward, exhale. Inhale, raise the arms up. Exhaling, hands by your side. Okay, so that's really a good warming up and strengthening exercise for children. We will now do the tree pose, and Adara will demonstrate the tree pose, so face forward. Okay, focus on a gaze point. Bring your hands to the hips, that's it. Slowly. And raise the arms up. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Leg down. And hands on the hips. Let's do the left side. Inhale, raise the arms up. Inhale and exhaling. Legs down. And let's come down into seated posture. Seated posture. Come into butterfly pose. This helps with strengthening the legs, opening out the hamstrings. Okay. Bring the feet towards the body and gently flap your wings like a butterfly. Straighten the back. And give yourself a smile, a nice big smile. And let's lie on our backs on the mat for fish pose. Grab your thighs, come up onto the top part of the head and raise the arms up into prayer position and take a few deep breaths. A deep inhale, deep exhale. Now raise the head up, place the body down. And let's finish off with final relaxation. Final relaxation is a 3-part process. You're going to tense each area of the body. You're going to release that area of the body. You're going to hold the breath at the same time. Okay, focus on the legs. Squeeze the legs, hold the breath and release. Tummies. Swell the tummy out, suck it into the back of the spine and release. Buttocks, squeeze the butt, lift it off the floor and release. Both arms, tense the arms, hold the breath and release. Let the palms face the ceiling, turn the palms around. Chest, neck, shoulders, tense, tense, tense and release. Make an ugly face and release. Ugly face, stick the tongue out, open the eyes wide, come into lion breath and release. Now let's engage every muscle. Make every muscle tense in the body. Tense, tense, tense. Lift the arms, legs up and release. Again, inhale and release. One more time. Tense all the muscles and release. Let your arms, palms face the ceiling. Close the eyes. Relax the body. Relax the body. Let your body sink into the arms of Mother Earth. Deep inhale, deep exhale. Relax and unwind. Slowly roll over to the one side. Come up to lotus pose. Close the eyes. Bring the hands to heart center. Let's say the word peace 3 times. Om peace, peace, peace. The soul within me bows to the soul within you. Thank you.
Thank you to all our yoga teachers who participated, and that brings us to an end to this episode 1 of our Sarv Hitay Yoga for All series. I would like to thank our director of the Swami Vivekananda Cultural Center, Dr. Chaitanya Prakash Yogi. On behalf of the Swami Vivekananda Cultural Center, I would like to thank our guest, Mrs. Nirupa, Master Adityom Joshi, Miss Adara Chatram, for lending us their time and showing us the importance of yoga. I want to thank our online viewers for being with us, and please remember to like ISAR Facebook page and join us for more episodes.